After a short break, we return to the GP2 action in a brand new environment. This will be the first race held at the Baku city circuit. Sergei Sorokin takes his second pole of the season, just ahead of Norman Nato and Alex Lynn. Championship favourite Pierre Gasly lines up P6, just pipping Nobuharu Matsushita and his teammate Antonio Giovinazzi, who is still yet to outqualify his teammate. Time for the European Grand Prix. What is up, guys? We are here back into the GP2 action. We've had a bit of a break with all the stuff that's going on with Formula 1, but we are back here for the European Grand Prix. We're looking forward to getting this all underway and hopefully getting off to a good start and actually continuing our lead in the championship. We're doing very good at the moment. As you can see on the screen right now, we have a new car. Well, I say a new car. We've updated the livery of Pierre Gasly's Prima racing car, obviously with the new helmet Pierre Gasly has for this season. Before it was just a Red Bull helmet, but now it's his helmet, his actual car. The car looks phenomenal. I'll link the description of the original version, but until then, let's get into the race. So, Sergei Sorokin got pole in Monaco and he failed to convert it. We need to make sure that doesn't happen again. We need to stop him from winning the race. Forget what I just said. We are underway now. We've got Mitch Evans to our left, Lynn just ahead of us, Nato just in front of that, and obviously our potential championship rival Sergei Sorokin. So we get off to a good start. Peak is still behind us right now. We're going to take it fairly cautious, try and see a gap. We see a gap, and we're going to take the outside line. We've got Norman Nato just ahead of us. Mitch Evans has to drop back. Our teammate is now actually side by side with him. So Giovinazzi is doing a solid as he actually takes P5. So our teammate is following us through, which is exactly what we want, because we need to keep the lead in the championship away from the ALT boys. At the moment, Sorokin is out in front, which is probably not what we want, being the fact that we are now into P3 as we just chuck up the inside of Norman Nato. That was a fantastic overtake in a very tight area as well, but we're going to skip way a little bit further into the Grand Prix. We are now on lap 5. We're still in P3 at the moment. Excuse me. But we're going to come into the pit lane. We're going to try and get the undercut. Oh, as we almost lose it into the barrier. We're going to try and get the undercut on the rest of the field. So we're going to pull in, change our tyres to the soft tyre, and see if we can get... Oh, the car just looks gorgeous, doesn't it? We're going to try and get the jump on everyone else on the field that's ahead of us. With any luck, we'll be able to gain at least one position. Sorokin at the moment is kind of running away with it. He hasn't been challenged by Lynn. We've just got Nato just right up our gearbox. No challenges so far or whatsoever, but we're going to skip on to lap 6 now. We've got the two Arden cars who are actually battling. So we've got Ericsson and Jeffrey having a cheeky little battle here, but you can see he's going to have a look down his inside, and I've got a feeling that Jeffrey is going to nab Ericsson there for the position, mostly out of pride for the two Arden boys, but decent little scrap between two Arden boys. They haven't had a massive amount of points, but coming now on to lap 7 now, you can see everyone's making their pit stops. We're going to jump our teammate in the pits as we should, and I'm not sure if it's worked effectively that much. We've got a car just ahead of us, and I believe that is Lynn, so it looks like we might be able to get the jump on Lynn. So it looks like P2 is ours. Sorokin is only just there. We're going to have a look from a long way back, and I don't think we touched. I think he turned in and tapped my rear tyre, but nonetheless we are through into effectively P2, where we just got to chase Sorokin down as we skip to lap 8. You can see Sorokin is there for the take, and we're just going to do our best to try and get past him. He goes absolutely wide. I'm going to go underneath him and round his outside effectively. But we go a little bit deep there, and he's actually going to come through and clatter us a little bit. So that's kind of cheeky from Sergei Sorokin. But we're going to have his slipstream, and because of that cheeky little nudge he gave us, we're going to just chuck it down his inside, and we're going to make sure we go nice and slow, just so he doesn't get no cut back on us whatsoever. So that is it. We are in to P1, which is absolutely beautiful, which is exactly what we needed. Now, coming on to a few laps later, we've got our teammate who just brushes the wall and just absolutely loses it, and has to go off and I'd start again from the start finish straight. So he's not having a fantastic race, but you can see there's a red flag because of 4 cars. Now we're going to have to see what happened. We've got Arthur Peak, Mitch Evans, Ollie Rowland, I believe, and someone else. I can't see who that is, Jordan King. So Peak goes wide a little bit, clatters Evans, and he clatters King, and Rowland just gets caught up amongst the incident. So Peak goes wide, he comes back on, lights it up on the AstroTurf, collects Evans into King, and then poor Ollie Rowland just gets collected in that. He was pretty much just a passenger. So red flag the session. We're starting again with 3 laps to go. We have 5 lights and we're underway. Sorokin comes over to the left immediately to kind of ward us off a little bit. Nato gets a fantastic start. He goes up at inside, and I think Alex Lynn was going to have a look there, but we held that off a little bit. We're going to have to see if we can just about get past Nato. Sadly we can't, and amongst all the chaos, what actually happened on the start here, you can see Daniel De Jong just getting squeezed into the Rowlander's front wing, and then he has to avoid one of the Russian time cars. So that's going to be his race over, because I'm sure he's going to have suspension damage after that incident. But what the cameras didn't pick up is that Pierre Gasly was suffering with a gearbox issue, so that's why Sorokin got through, and Nato has now got away as we lose it on the last corner of the hairpin. Lynn is not hopefully going to have a good enough run, which he doesn't, but on the plus side to all that, we are going to keep P3 in this race. The first red flag we've had this season, and the first gearbox issue or any issue of that sort that we've had on our car, so that's not good for us, but a solid P3. So that was an alright race, to be fair. The first race seems to be our better race with Pierre Gasly, bar Spain. So we did a solid job. He's going to go over and congratulate the Carlin boys. I'm not sure why he's going to congratulate the Carlin boys, but you know, whatever floats your boat. Sergei Sorokin converts his pole position into his first win of the season. Pierre Gasly looked as if he would come out on top, however with an overheating gearbox meant he fell down to 3rd behind Norman Nato. The second Dan car of Latifi takes reverse grid pole, while down the field 6 cars retired mainly due to a red flag during the race. It is again Arthur Pick and Daniel De Jong who have poor races. Will there be another different winner in this GP2 season? Let's find out. So we are back for the sprint race, and we've got a beautiful little texture glitch inside the garage. It was working fine in the first race. You can see I'm shaking my head in the cockpit. It's very weird. Like when you move around, you can the pink moves around. But screw the glitch. Let's get to the grid. Lining up in P6. It could have been P7, but obviously we could not get Norman Nato. But we're coming on to the lights now. We've got Matthew Shitter ahead of us, and we're going to get off to an alright start. We get a bit of wheel spin, and I think Matthew Shitter did as well. But we're going to be going side by side with Lynn. We've had a tremendous amount of battling with Lynn. We're going to almost touch a little bit, and then out of nowhere we are just going to get clattered by Jeffrey. What an idiot. And we just get hit by Sorokin at the same time. So this is just Ericsson, apologies. We're just getting hit left, right and centre. Now we've got Gilal going around our outside. Sorokin's holding us up. We're going to the back of Gilal because we're frustrated as hell. It's just the worst start we could have hoped for. We're going to squeeze out Sorokin as we throw up our hand in frustration. But we're going to have to go down his inside. We've got to make some moves because we have lost so many positions in the start. And there is Ericsson, the guy that came down the inside and absolutely rear-ended us and started off that chain reaction of events where we just plummeted through positions. But a lot have happened in turn 1. We're going to have a look and see. I believe this is Lin getting past Gio. So that's going to be a Dams 2-3 at the moment. As if you noticed in the first corner from our onboard shot, Mali has actually got into P1. So Mali is doing a stellar job for Rapax. So at the moment it's Dams 2-3. Our teammate also got off to an alright start in turn 1. He goes 3 abreast into the second corner, which is absolutely mad, and I think he's just going to pick his way through. He could have dived up the inside, but I don't think he would have wanted to lose parts of his car that he could potentially need in the future. So you can see he goes past Jeffrey. He's actually going to be behind Sirotkin. Whether he gets Sirotkin or not, that's a whole different story. But someone else that had an issue on the following lap is Kanamassas. Kanamassas, he's struggling a little bit this weekend. He had the issue, and he's just going to lose his front wing. So Kanamassas not doing very good for the Carlin team. But another lap later, we are in pursuit of Marcello, and we're just going to chuck it up his inside. We like this overtake. This is a very, very good overtake for us. Very similar to the move in Spain that we saw with Sirotkin, Gasly, and De Vries, which also GP3 is coming back for the next race. But nonetheless, we are here chasing Matsushita. So Matsushita are our rival this race, I'd say, because we're not going to be anywhere near the 2 Dams cars, but we're going to look for a long way back. And we actually managed to get him, but look who's ahead. We have Nato ahead of us, but 2 laps to go. We are now on board with Arthur Peak, who just absolutely dive bombs Markelov. So he just absolutely ruined Markelov. But so we have Jeffrey now under pursuit from Gilao, so he's going to have a look. Jeffrey goes a little bit wide, so Gilao's going to take the outside line, and maybe he ain't going to make a move. Okay, he just made the move in the tightest corner of the circuit, so fair play to him to make a move in that hard part of the circuit. But onto the last lap, some things happened up ahead with 1 to 5, because they are all bunched up now. It's still the same as before. Giotto's in 4th, but we're focusing at Norman Nato at the moment. We're going to do what we can to try and get past this boy coming into the last corner. We struggled all weekend at this last corner. If we can make a move, we're going to have to try to get the position. We're going to have a look. We're going to run so deep. We almost banged tyres, and it's going to be a sprint to the line to see what we could do. Our thing flashed up about our front wing damage, but he unfortunately is just going to pip us for that position. So we couldn't make the position. So Pierre Gasly's not happy with that, but dreadful, absolutely dreadful. So looking at the driver standings, you can see we are still leading by 9 points, followed by Nominato, who's only 1 point behind Sergei Sirotkin. Mitch Evans and Matsushita only on 43 points as well, with Alex Lin. So Alex Lin keeping up with them, to be fair, after a poor start to the season. Same for Sirotkin, he had a really poor start, but first place and second place in Monaco and Europe. It's pretty solid. Luca Giotto on the 37 points, followed by the second Dams of Latifi. Malia doing really well last race to get the win. Arthur Peak again hasn't got any more points in Spain. He really needs to pull his socks up. Daniel De Jong following that, and Antonio Giovinazzi, our teammate, in 12th place. Looking at the constructors, on the other hand, ALT have now actually jumped us in the constructors as well as Dams. Constructors are going to be difficult unless we win every single race, because our teammate, I don't think he's at the same consistency as the ALT boys are. But nonetheless, Racing Engineering, we got a little bit of a buffer to them. Rapax getting there slowly. Campos still ahead of Trident at this point in time. MP Motorsport on 21 points. Russian Time with 3, and Arden International on 1, and Carlin slash status. It's Carlin first this season, but they still need to score some points. But anyway, guys, that's been the video. I hope you've enjoyed. The next race will be Formula 1 actually. Formula 1 round Europe. So after that, we'll return to the GP3 action in Austria. So it's going to be a nightmare. It's going to be a nightmare with them 15 rookies. But nonetheless, guys, hope you enjoyed the video. Until the next race, bye-bye. Squeeze him because we don't want to crash. We're going to hold it into chicane. He's going to cut across us. He's going to hit us, and we spin, and we're into the wall. His race is ruined. Hamilton is into the side of us. Oh, that could not have gone any worse.